I'm Bill Hawthorn. I've been a real estate entrepreneur for 21 plus years. And today I'm going to show you a creative real estate finance strategy that could make you a multi-millionaire. And if you think I'm kidding, just watch this video because everything you need to know is in this short, probably about 30-minute video. And I'm going to give it all to you right here. Here is the reason why. If you concentrate on how to make money now, money monthly, and money later on all your transactions, and you get that trifecta or those three pieces in every one of your transactions, you will become rich. But I'm ahead of myself. What I'd like to talk to you about today is how you can use $10. I like to use $100, but you could use $10 to actually get these deals. You use $10 for down payment. That's a better way to put it. For deposit, not even a deposit, a down payment to purchase these deals. And it's 100% legal, and there's nobody that can stop you from doing it. You don't need a license. You don't need anything except what's in this video. Now, if this is the first time you've seen me or heard me, you're going to want to get into my 10-part email series where I have 7 strategies that I show you how to do this 7 different types of ways. This is strategy number 3. So there's 4 more to go. And you're going to see it today and your mind is going to go mostly because not only am I going to show you how to use a $10 deposit, I'm going to show you how you have no risk. And if you walk away any part of the deal, whether it's in the negotiating, after you purchased it, later on, you lose nothing except your $10 or your $100. The way real estate is designed is you're supposed to take money out, not put money in. So the only way you could not lose money in real estate is don't put money in. And understand the strategies that I use, like in this video. So here's what I'm going to do. I actually have an event where I had a bunch of people come and pay me and show them all these strategies in a room, and we were intense with it. I'm going to cut some clips out of that, or actually today, 1 clip out of that event, and I'm going to show it to you today so you can see the math. I'm going to actually do that second. Before I do that, I'm going to show you a meetup that I did that explains on a whiteboard, with pictures, my bad drawing and ugly penmanship, how the deal flows. Between these 2 clips, you will see with your own eyes how this is possible, and all the myths you heard about buying real estate with no money down will be explained to you today. All you need to do is watch this video. That's it. Okay, no more said. I'm going to show you the first clip right now, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to show you the second clip. Okay, so just hang tight. Here's the first clip. Take notes. You're going to want to capture everything that I show you. It's the difference between living on the streets and being a millionaire, I promise. Lease option. What's the difference between a lease option and a slot? First of all, a lease option is 85%. What does that mean? Got 15% equity. How much does a slot deal have? 0. That's the first thing. The best thing for me to do is to show off my art skills right now. How am I doing? You ready? This is the best part of the art. Are you ready? I'm joking around, of course. This is me. See my belly? Okay? You got it? See, I told you it was good art. You understood it. This is the seller. This is the buyer. That's me. The seller agrees to sell me the $100,000 house for $85,000, right? Right? 85% of $100,000 is $85,000. Okay? And I agree to pay $500 a month rent to the seller. Good? Does that make sense? Somebody tell me what I just said so I make sure you're getting it. Barbara?
You offered $85,000 to
the seller agreed to $85,000.
But the $500 you're giving to the seller?
Per month as a lease, because it's a lease option. So the option portion of it is the $85K. The lease portion of it is $500 a month.
It'll take forever to pay you off.
Well, we're not there yet. Go easy now. Easy, Barbara. We're not there yet. So we understand that. I agreed to pay him $85,000 and $500 a month. You with me? Good. My buyer agreed to pay $105,000 and $1,000 a month. Yeah?
First, $500 arrow to go to the seller. Yeah. Look, that's going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arrow at the top near the 500 because
It's coming
it should
from
be
you.
more expensive.
So you guys got it backwards. No. I got it right. You guys got it backwards. Hang on. This guy is going to give me $500. I'm going to take the $500. Oh, you're right. See, I'm wrong. Thank you, Peter. You're 100% correct. Oh, my goodness. Thick-headed I am. Where's Sylvia? Sylvia usually straightened me out on this stuff. Boy, I really screwed that up. So, I'm sorry about that. So, this seller is going to give me $1,000. This picture's not working out for me, is it?
But here's the thing, they understood.
Yeah, they totally got it, yeah. So good. So it's the buyer that's giving me $1,000 because this is the guy that bought from me. Did I say something different? I'm sorry, okay. So the buyer gave me $1,000 for this month's rent. I paid $500 to the seller. How much did I keep in the bank? This guy is paying me. I pay the seller pays the mortgage. It's just made up numbers for math. It's just the principle. The numbers are irrelevant. Okay? And if he paid $85,000 on a 3 or 4%, it's probably not much more than that. It's probably $600. Okay, but just for mathematical. Okay? You get that? Yeah? No?
Why would anyone pay $105,000?
Because he can't buy a mortgage somewhere else. He's unmortgageable. He's one of the 81%. And it's a delayed cash out.
Why would the seller accept this kind of
Because he's motivated and needs to get out. There's a whole bunch of reasons. That's a whole nother lecture, but it could be divorce. It could be relocation. It could be tax problems. It could be him and his sister own it and they're fighting. Nursing home, yeah. Probate. There's a gamut of reasons. Okay, so if we break this down, we're getting $500 a month, right? Calculator. Well, just do the math for me. So if we do that times 24 months, how much is that, Jess?
12,000.
If we do it times 36 months, how much is that? If we do it times 60 months, how much is that? How much? 36, right? No, 24,000. 36. Yeah. Okay? So let's say it's a 5-year mortgage. You make 30 grand. Is that right? What about the 20 grand over here? We bought for 85, sold for 105. There's 20 grand difference. And we're leasing. So we made 20 grand on the equity and 30 grand on the lease. How much is that? US dollars, baby. How much money did we use for a down payment? Who's our hard money lender? Who? What did she say? Exactly right. So far I've showed you how to do 3 deal structures, and you don't need private money, and you don't need money down.
You need 10 bucks.
Huh?
It's 10 bucks. You want 10 bucks.
In this particular case, that's right. You're going to give them $10 for the option. You need that, or you can do $1. But you have to have consideration. You have to give them $1, $10, $100, whatever.
Have you had a situation where the seller is not in default?
Yep. So what I did is when the buyer came in, I took 3 to 5% for down payment. I put that money in escrow in case this guy does not pay. I have money to evict him. I have money to pay this guy. And if he does damage, I have money to do damage. Now you have to realize we're dealing with a $100,000 house. Most houses are 200, 180, so the numbers are bigger. Okay, but you're more than likely going to have 8, 10, 12 grand of down payment from this money towards the option that is non-refundable. You did not give that to this guy, so you get to keep it. And this, if seller defaults, yeah, you're in trouble. If I feel like that's going to happen, he's 100% correct. I will make the mortgage payments to the mortgage company myself. The lease payments will go right to the mortgage company. If you think that's going to happen, and you usually know, or you get a lawyer that will do escrow. There was a website that I had a couple months ago. I forgot the name of it. They will actually do that for you for a very small percentage. They do everything. Where's the camera blinking? Right. Boy, I'm way off mark tonight, huh? There's only 2 ways to make money in real estate. You guys remember what they are? equity, buy low, sell high, and cash flow. Only two ways you can make money in property. In this particular way, we use both those ways because we use the equity. We bought for 85, sold for 105. That's the 20 grand. That's the equity. Right? Then the cash flow was the difference between the $500 and $1,000, and we had 30 grand. Most of you would be happy just for the 30 grand. Never mind the equity. Point is you didn't use any money, you didn't use any credit, you didn't use anything, and you bought this property.
When you say you bought it, it's a deed on him.
No. When I say you bought it with an option and became an equity share of the property. So you became a partner with the option.
Oh, you have people.
That's it. And $10. Get it? Yeah. Wanda, where'd she come from? I'm just teasing. Go ahead. I like that you ask questions.
Do you move the property on the seller's name if you do an LLC?
We haven't gotten there yet. And a lease option, no. But we're going to get there. We have deals where we do that, which is actually the next deal. Any questions? Yes.
How long does it normally take you to find a renter or someone to lease the property?
That's a good question. Me personally, or someone in general?
Both.
Okay. Well, when I put my mind to something, I'm an animal. And the way I put my mind to something is there's a lot that I'm not telling you tonight because I don't want to confuse things. So I'm going to tell you when I do my lease option deals, most of the time I'll tell the person that I'm buying the property from that I want them to make the first 3 mortgage payments while I'm finding the buyer. I started doing that on the slot deals because you're going to tell the person that you need to bring it to the market and they need to wait 3 months, and they're willing to do that. So I thought, why not do that in a lease option deal? So now, if I can find a buyer the first month, the next 2 months I get to keep because I don't have to pay the buyer, right? Or the seller. But to answer your question correctly, 90 days. You should plan on 90 days. And you should set it up that if you don't have money, that the seller is going to wait 90 days for your first payment. Now, you're not always going to get that, but you should ask. Ron LeGrand is famous for the way you make money is to flap your lips. I could take you to my house, which is a half a mile from here, and I can show you a lot of things in my house that I got because I said to the guy, I'll buy the house, but you need to leave the lawnmower. I'll buy the house because you need to leave the washing machine. My sister needed a washing machine once. Within a week, I called her up and said, come get your washing machine. Because I bought a house, I had a washing machine in, and I just made it part of the deal. I got her, we have a dog, a little Chihuahua. I pay $1,500 for the dog, but it was part of a house deal. I got the dog from the house deal because I flapped my lips. And he's still part of our family. He's now Jesse's dog, but yeah. We good? Oh.
The purchase price is decided upon at the beginning of the deal. Obviously, put in the contract and that's it.
In the option. The purpose of the option is to have a predetermined agreement on all of it. How much am I going to pay you, the seller? How much am I going to give you every month as a seller? Who's going to do the maintenance as the seller, as the buyer? It's all up front. Okay? The difference between a slot and a lease option deal is the slot you stay in because you're collecting monthly money. The slot you don't. Okay, I know I keep switching in between a slot deal and a rent-own. If this is your first time seeing me or going through these strategies, a slot deal is a sandwich lease option transfer, and a rent-own is a sandwich lease option that you stay in. And I'm going to explain that to you now, but the difference is a slot deal is usually no equity, know the loan to value is 100%. They can't afford to pay the closing cost. And a lease option, we prefer to stay in the deal if they give us 15% worth of equity and about 20% or more in cash flow. Basically, what I'll do is when I'm talking to a seller, if they want me to manage the property and they want me to stay in the deal, then I tell them they need 15% in equity and 20% in cash flow. So that's the difference. If you're watching this video as a standalone on YouTube, if you go into the comments section, there's a link there. It will get you into an email sequence that has 10 videos in it or 10 emails in it, and it explains all this in sequence and in order. And if you're watching this in the sequence, you'll already know what a slot deal is. You'll already know the difference between them. But in any event, this next clip is how I explain it with the whiteboard, with my horrible graphics and my horrible writing, but it gives you a visual concept of how the transaction works and how you would put it together. And realize that this is a Zoom event that we did during COVID. So there are people on the call and I'm talking to them and stuff like that. So just realize that. And as soon as we get done with this clip, we'll come back real short, talk about a couple things, and then end off. Okay? So here's the next clip. When we go down here to rent own, which by the way, I want to preface this with, listen to me carefully, please. This is freedom for you. This is how you will get your life back. This is how you will get magic, magic, magic in my world. So this says you need 15% worth of equity. So let's say, when you're doing this slot deal, okay, what did we do? We took the owner and the buyer and we put them together. We didn't stay in the deal, right? So that means that the seller is paying the buyer the rent. So the buyer, even though we assign the landlord obligations, he still has the hassle, the seller still has the hassle of collecting the rent and dealing with the tenant, right? A lot of sellers don't want to do that. So here's what I tell them. If you don't want to do the landlording or the little bit of landlording that I've set up for you, then you need to give me 15% worth of equity. And you need to give me 20 to 25% monthly payments or cash flow. If you do that, I'll stay in the deal. I'll pay you. You never have to worry about it because whether the tenant buys or not, whether the house is open or vacant or where, it doesn't matter. You're always going to get your money from me. Okay. Now, if we go back to this deal, we said that this house was $200,000 and $1,000 a month. So on a rent to own, he needs to give us 15% worth of equity, right? So that means he needs to sell to us for $170, and his payments are $1,000. We're going to sell this for $210 because we can get a premium. We're going to rent for $1,300 a month. So that means here we take 170 minus the 210, right, equals $40,000, right? And if we're making $300 times, we'll say 24 months, which is very low. We're not going to do a 24-month lease, but we do 300. I could probably do this in my head, but times 24 months. That's 7,200. If we did 300 times 36 months, which is 3 years, we have 10,800. I like to get 60 months, which is 5 years. Okay, so if you do 300, it's 18,000, right? Is $18,000. So if you found someone that's willing to give you a $170,000 option to rent from them, so you're going to do a rent to own, right? And you sell for $210 and $1,300 a month, you have $40,000 in equity and $18,000 in cash flow. That's 58 grand. Now watch what happens. You're going to want to do money now, money monthly, and money later. This is how you evaluate all your deals, every deal that you get. So in this case, we got money now. Let's say they're going to give us 10 grand down now, right? So we sell for 210. They'll give us 5% down, which we'll say is about $10,000 just for numbers. You're gonna have money monthly of $300, and because you're selling, you got the difference between 210 and 170 is 40 grand, but you're getting 10 grand now, and then you get 30 grand later. On a slot deal, so this is rent to own, and this is a slot. Over here, you're getting your 10 grand now. You're getting 0 monthly and 0 later. So here's what you do. These deals are good, but all this equals how much time you spend on a deal. So this slot deal, you want to be in and out in 30 days. It's usually a couple weeks if you do it right. But this deal where you're making 58 grand, can you afford to spend more time on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more money, right? A lot more time. So Nelson Rockefeller said the way to wealth is to own nothing and control everything. I've just showed you how you could do that in a video. The video before this video, which was the sandwich lease option transfer, and if you're in my email sequence, you would have gotten that. If you're not, and you're watching this as a standalone YouTube, like I said before, go click on the link in the chat and get all the other 9 videos that go along with this, so you can get well trained, and it's all for free. Or if you are in the email sequence, you'll have known that the slot deal is you need a $10 deposit, and the lease option, you need a $10 deposit, and just a regular option, you need a $10 deposit. So it fits right in with what Nelson Rockefeller says. Own nothing, control everything. It's a very interesting concept. There is no deed in your name, so you're not worried about getting sued or having any legal ramifications, because all you have is a lease as if you were a tenant. As long as you pay or get out, you're in good shape. Okay, so it's actually a very simple method, and if you have rented a place in the past, then you're about 85% of the way or 90% of the way of knowing how to do this. So you don't need a lot of training. You don't need to spend months and months and months and years and years and years trying to learn how to do real estate. You could actually get out there, get on Facebook Marketplace, just go down to the left-hand side where it says for rent and start texting people saying, hey, would you rent for me? Start messaging them and saying, would you rent for a year or two and then sell to me? And you'll be surprised that somebody will allow you to do that. Okay, so it's not as hard as people make it think. And by the way, if you are worried about the paperwork, you can pretty much go online and Google it, and you can find paperwork. It's not as good as my paperwork and as ironclad as my paperwork, but you can find it, so it's not that hard. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed my video today. Hopefully you're in my email sequence getting all 10 lessons in the right order and making sense to you, so you can start clicking away in your head and thinking, oh, that's how that works. If not, just go ahead and do that now. The link is in the comment section of the YouTube video that you're watching. And I hope that you and I could build a relationship together, and we can learn more together. So that's my video for today. Make sure you go back and watch it again and take notes, because there's a lot of information there. It's packed in, and you're going to want to make sure you don't miss anything, okay? So over and out. I'll see you in the next video.